to talk to you about making seeded sourdough bread. It's something that we enjoy an awful lot. So this is putting the seeds into the bread, mixing it in there. So here we've got 50 grams of pumpkin seeds, 50 grams of sunflower seeds, and 50 grams of rye flakes in there. So that's a nice mix for us. We'll also put a coating on top, so I'll show you that later. But what I'm going to do now is go through a fairly quick process initially, because I've got a few videos on making sourdough bread. So I'm going to skip a little bit of the early side of the process and take you to the bit where you start to add in your seeds to the bread. I'm also actually going to add in some olive oil as well, good olive oil to the bread. Just a dash of this. This makes the bread a little bit softer. It gives it a softer crumb on there. So I enjoy playing around with olive oil. It's a lovely product. We have a lot of it, so you know, it's a flavour that we like, and it works well with sourdough. And I'll show you as well how to introduce your olive oil into the bread and at what stage you do that, because it's very important on all of these things here that you put it into the dough once you've got dough strength. If you put it in too early, you're going to get a flat loaf, you know, not going to be that great really. So the part of the process you put it in, I'll show you on here. So that's the beginning of things. So I'll show you now. This morning I just quickly made up some dough here. So this has just been autolyzing for about 45 minutes. This is what I do always. I kind of autolyze. You'll see it in the rest of my videos. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add into here my nice bubbly starter and my salt, and then get that going, get that proving. And then after half an hour of having this mixed together, I'm then going to do a first set of stretch and fold. So I'll kind of take it from there and show you then that first set of stretch and folds, the process going forward from there of how to add in your seeds to your bread. And this applies as well to nuts as well. So here we go. I'll stop this now, and then I'll continue on with the video once we get to the point of the first set of stretch and folds, and we'll look at the dough strength and see if we're happy, checking with the window pane, if we're happy then to add in the seeds, the bread and the olive oil. So thank you there. Okay, I just thought I'd quickly show you putting in the starter and the salt. You've seen this before, it's the same process I used previously. So 12 grams of salt in there, around, and then 120 grams of nice bubbly starter. So this is a rye starter. Made it last night, so I used the 100. I know roughly what this is now. Kind of, I can measure out 120 grams pretty easily by the size of the jar, but you might want to measure this. So there you go. So this is the first part of the process then, as far as introducing the starter and then into the dough. So I'll stop there and I'll just basically go through and mix that up and then come back to you once that's all mixed after half an hour. So again, I'll use my trusty timer here for the half an hour, just so I can walk away and do something else once it's doing its thing. Thank you. Right, next stage. So quickly, this is after we've put in the starter and the salt. So that's half an hour ago. So wait half an hour. Here we go now. So I'm going to do the first set of stretch and fold. So this is the process I follow normally. So wet your hands, wet both hands, and then you're going to do as I've done previously. We're going to go through and release it from the bowl from here. Then we're going to just fold it around our hands like this. We're going to stretch it and fold it around. You can actually feel already the tension building as you do that. And then once you've finished there, put it into a bowl like that, back in the bowl. So that's looking good there. So that's looking really taut up that. We just check the window pane on there. So just wet my hands, have a quick look on here and just see how we're going. So not bad. So we're kind of getting, actually this is actually, well, it's not there yet. It's coming there for the dough strength. So what we'll do now is we'll put that to one side, leave that for half an hour. Then I'll do the next stretch and folds in the container as I've shown previously. Then we'll go through, at that stage it should be strong enough, the dough, to then add in our seeds and olive oil to the dough. So come back again in half an hour's time. Well, that's great. That's been 30 minutes now, so I'll just check things out. So we should have some quite good dough strength in there. So we'll just check that out, how we're going. So I'll just seal it from, well, release it from the side of the bowl, and then just a couple of stretch and folds and check it out. So of course, wet your hands, kind of release it from the bowl. So it's actually feeling good. Once you kind of, well, the more sourdough you make, the more you get to know it, and it feels right. So that feels really good to me there. Just kind of give it a quick stretch on here. That's feeling good. Give it a bit of tension on there. Great. So let's have a look at now the window pane effect. Just see how much, this is kind of a rough check to see how much dough strength we've got in there. So we can kind of see here now, it's looking really good. You can see my finger through there. So that's really good. So I'd say this is now ready to put the seeds in. So the way you do it, first of all, okay, wet your hands again, and then a little bit of dimpling. So you're going to put your fingers in like this and make lots and lots of dimples into the bread, into the dough, sorry. So kind of like that, that's good. And then first of all, I'll probably put some, maybe put half of these in. So half inside and then half on top, I'd say. So roughly, it doesn't be too exact here. And about half of those on there as well. And then some olive oil, just a little bit of a drizzle. That's enough really on there to do that. And then we're going to go ahead now again with just slightly damp hands and just dimple that in. So we're going to go through here and just basically kind of, you take a little while just to push the seeds into the dough. So if they're if they're clumping up a bit, just move them around a little bit so you give a bit of an even distribution. And what you want to do is like get them pushed in into the dough. And then that's going to keep on doing this for a little while. They'll start to disappear a bit after a while into the dough. So just by the way, this is a mix. Excuse me. This is a mix of. About it's 200 grams of wholemeal flour, 50 grams of rye flour, and the rest of bread flour. So it's kind of a lightish, medium, well, light to medium mix with bread flour. So that's looking pretty good now. So once you the stars are going to disappear a bit into the dough, you know it's kind of mixing through roughly on there. So that's really good. Okay, that's really good on there. And then the next bit really is just to kind of fold it in there. So pick up a corner, fold it over, do the same here, fold it over. And then with two hands then just kind of move it over so as the bottom's now the top like this. And then again, wet your hands again, slightly. Now we're going to kind of do some stretch and folds just to help the dough strength and also to move it through into the dough. So there we go. So that's great. So that's it. So you can leave it like that again for another 30 minutes. We'll come back to that, do another stretch and fold. And that's great. So I'll see you in 30 minutes. Okay, that's great. So this is now the third and final set of stretch and fold. So we've had the olive oil in here and the seeds in here. They've all been mixed up. So what we're going to do now is just again wet our hands and just release it from the side of the bowl. This is actually feeling very good. Give it a quick stretch and you see now we've got some of the seeds kind of coming to the surface here. It's actually going to be a little bit careful now. We don't want to pop through if we can. So I'm actually really happy now just for doing a really light stretch and fold there. If we did pull some out in here, we'll see we've really got really good. Look at that window pane effect is really good. So I'm happy with that. So I'll just very gently now shape that in the bowl and turn it over. And I'm now going to leave that for probably 4 or 5 hours. Do bulk rise on there. And then I can put it into the bannetons this evening. So I'll put a lid on that, put that to one side, and come back to that in 4 or 5 hours time. And then great, we can form it up and put it into the banneton. So great, thank you. Okay, great, we're ready now. Dough's looking fantastic. It's had another 4.5 to 5 hours to prove in there. Happy it's looking good. So I'm going to go through now and remove it from the bowl. So what I do here is just put a tiny bit of rice flour there, not very much, because you want it to stick a little bit to bench to help you to stretch it. So there you go. I just go through and get out of the bowl and here. So that's looking great. Really happy with that. They're going to go through and just stretch it really. Same process we've been through before with this. On here, just do down here. So go through stretch there. That's looking good. I'm going to put my seeds down here, ready to put the bread onto. And then also just put some rice flour on the banneton. Usual process really on here. That we go through, we're doing this. Now, which back the hands again, as I just pause for a minute, go through and just stretch this out here, stretch it out, bring that over, and then we're going to stretch and roll that through now on here. It's beautiful, it's looking good. Put that down again here, it's looking nice. Put this onto the seeds. Go here so you can see what happens. So going to move this around really until we've got all of the seeds all the way around the dough. So you're going to be nicely covered. There you go, we've got around the bench. It's looking good on there. A few more just to pick up. It's looking great. Get our banneton over, put it into the banneton. We'll go there, which has been floured. Wash your hands again here, just very lightly. And then we're going to go through the process here now of stitching it over. So we're going to take one side, just stitch it over here, stitch it over there, kind of building in tension into the loaf here. Tuck the bottoms in here as well. Tuck that over on here. And there you go, that's looking great. So just move it around a little bit on here. It's looking good. And last thing we need to do then, just put a little bit of rice flour around the outside of the loaf, just so it doesn't stick too much on there. Go. And there. And there. That's looking great. Fantastic. So I'm really happy now with that. So I'm going to put that to one side now for about maybe half an hour. Cover it up, and then into the fridge overnight, and then ready for a bake tomorrow. So that's great. Actually, I've got a few more seeds here left on the top, so I don't want to waste any. So I'll just put those on here as well, and that's great. One loaf ready to go. Okay, that's great. I think we're ready to bake now. So the dough's been in the oven overnight, ready to go. So let's put it in the oven and make a beautiful loaf of seeded bread. Let's go for it. Again, put your gloves on because this is kind of hot stuff here. This just stops it from sticking. There. Here's a lovely seeded loaf. Very easy on there. I think today I'll just do one really simple slash across the top here. Just keep it easy for now. Just make sure it cuts all the way across. I think they're pretty good there. Nice clean cut through. And that's opening up well, so that's great. Ice cubes in. What? And quick as you can then put the lid on. So this is in a preheated oven now to 240, so this is going to go in there for 20 minutes. That's great, so I'll just set the timer for 20 minutes. Great, I'll come back in 20 minutes and we'll have a look and see how it's risen in the Challenger Dutch oven. Thank you. Okay, that's great. That's been 20 minutes in the oven at 240 with the lid on, the Challenger. So let's get it out and see how it looks. Well, that's looking great. Lovely rise. That's going to be a lovely loaf. The seeds are looking good on there. Nice slash on there. Fantastic. So back in the oven again now for 20 minutes, down to 220. That's going to make a fantastic loaf. Okay, great. That's the 20 minutes up. We'll have a look now and see what we've got. See if it's the right colour and we're happy with it. Well, there we go. That's been 20 minutes and that's looking absolutely beautiful. So I'm really happy with that. Nice colour on top. Crumb's really good. Beautiful seeds on there. That's going to be a lovely loaf. You can see it's going to be nice and light and aerated. So if I'm just careful with this now, I'll just pick it up and there you go. Lovely layer of seeds on there. That'll be beautiful. Really nice loaf. So again, nice and crunchy as you want it, all the way around the outside. So I'm going to now put that on the wire rack for an hour or two, let it cool down slightly, and then we'll probably have that with our dinner this evening. Maybe make some nice soup with it, something like that. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed. So that's got roughly 100 grams of seeds in it. So between the top, inside, 50 grams of sunflower and 50 grams of pumpkin seeds in there. So really nutritious loaf, full of really good stuff. Thank you. Right, that's great. It's been a couple of hours now, so just kind of checking the loaf now. So I'll look at its crumb, so I'll do the grand reveal. So lovely and crunchy. I'm really happy with that. Beautiful crumb, lots of lovely seeds in there. Beautiful loaf. It'll be really tasty. I'm looking forward to eating that. So it's really great. Lovely bit seeds on there, beautiful and light, beautifully aerated. So that's going to be a fantastic loaf. So have a go and make your own. So fill it with seeds, fill it with goodness, you know, and enjoy. So here we go. Here's the seeded loaf. Looking really nice, nice and aerated. Beautiful seeds on there. Coming there, lots of lovely seeds inside. Really beautiful loaf, so that's worked out really well. So that's breakfast this morning, looking really good.